Okay. Mute you. There we are. Any echo? No. Can you all hear us? Brilliant. Okay. Welcome to the new Finance and Compliance Committee after the AGM. It's now the 19th of May, so it's our May meeting, and Monday the 19th of May. Okay, welcome all. So first of all, Ian, any apologies for absence?
Yes, we've got councillors Townsend Jones and Councillor Erasmus.
Thank you very much. And any declarations of interest, anybody? No declarations, brilliant. So the next thing on the agenda is to elect a vice chair of the committee. So anybody here like to put themselves forward? So Tim has put his name forward here. I'll second that. Okay, well, I'll let you do it then as non-chair. So we'll take that to the vote. So voting for Tim as vice chair. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. That's unanimous then. So welcome Tim as vice chair. There he is. Come on the camera, say hello.
Thank you very much.
Just a wave. What have I done now? I've pressed something. There we are. Give us a wave again. There we are. Brilliant. Thanks. Thank you, Tim, and welcome. Okay, brilliant. So minutes of the previous meeting of the committee of the 15th of April. Would anybody like to propose and second those as a true record of the meeting?
Yes, I was.
Thank you, Ian. And Martin second. Brilliant. Okay, over to Ian Hughes now for any action points.
Yes, Chair, there's 2 outstanding actions. Number 5 relates to the Gower Electric Company, and we're still waiting for an update on that. And similarly, number 24, to consider suitable areas to buy money to area highlighted. Again, there's no update on that. I contacted Paul, our RFO, last week, and there's no update at the moment. So could I ask if we defer to next month?
Well, with the electric company, you know, that's a real old chestnut.
It is October 23.
It's Paul's the one that's going to be doing it, so just move it on, I would suggest.
Yes.
Yeah. But with the firing, which is about £4,700, I think we should, as a committee, which it'll have to go to full council, but propose that we give the autonomy to the RFO to borrow the money from those areas where he seems appropriate.
I'm happy with that proposal, so I'm going to put that to the vote for us, that for the wiring of money, we put it to full council that we authorise our RFO to do that. Are we all happy with that?
Yeah.
Brilliant, unanimous. And so that one, let's just write down to full council. RFO to via. Okay, brilliant. And the Gower Electric Co will go on next month's agenda then. Hopefully we'll have an update.
Yes, it was something that Carrie brought to the committee. Oh God, long time ago.
Yeah.
The
recommendation.
Yes.
Normally that would go to the June meeting, full council, but there is an extra one next week, so I could put it on the add it to the recommendations.
There's already something else apart from the honour of Mumbles on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that gets the ball rolling, right?
Yes. So I'll put it in for next week.
So that will go on basically for the full council meeting next week, where we're discussing the honour of Mumbles, and I think there's 1 or 2 other items to go on, rather than hang it on until the June meeting. Good. Let's get it dealt with. Okay then, budget monitoring reports to the 31st of March 2025. Have we all had a chance to look at them?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Anything anybody wants to bring up on that, or are you happy to go and approve them?
Well, we just covered it really, didn't we? Which was the environment.
Absolutely, the environment.
There wasn't anything in the ins and outs of the expenditure and income. I was a little, I did wonder whether or not the income shortfall could have been predicted, or whether there was another substantive reason for why we didn't hit our 54,000 target. On that, that's just a question really for the RFO.
That's a question for Paul, yeah. I mean, if you want that answer, Phil, I mean, by all means, email him. And
yeah,
ask
exactly.
him.
But also the follow-on question for that is our expected income for this coming financial year going to be regraded, as it were, because we've had this shortfall this year? You know, is it, you know, do we need to be a little bit more circumspect in you know, how we judge the potential income of the centre?
And you're basing this
yeah.
on, I suppose, the increase that we have to pay.
Well, yeah, in part, but obviously also because we predicted a 54, and Paul is very precise usually. You know, just, you know, that £1,000 or so difference, you know, has made an impact in the on the end of year figures. We can't always be in the black, but yeah, what with the rises in the water, the rent, and now we've got the rates as well.
Yeah.
You know, realistically speaking, there's going to be more and more pressure to put on you know, acquisition of income.
Fair point. So are you happy to ask Paul that, or shall I ask Phil to do it?
I'll ask him.
There we are.
Just so I'm clear, but just ask him, can he provide information about the...
So it's, first of all, Ian, it's you know, could we have predicted the shortfall this year, and why did it happen?
Shortfall, right?
Does this have an impact on this now current year's expectation on income? And given the,
do we need to address
that we need to address, and given the increase in ground rent, utilities and rates, do we actually need to think of the income stream as, do we need to lift that income stream in order to, you know, counterbalance it basically? So in other words, do we put up our room rates and memberships?
Yeah.
This is something that the West Cross Community Association had to go through a year ago. And it's left them at the end of the financial year with a very small surplus, which they're potentially looking at being eliminated again next year, at which point they will probably have to put their rates, you know, their rental agreements and things up again at some point, or seek alternative funding like a grant or something to cover the cost of gas, electric, something like that. So I mean, it's not, this is not unheard of. It's just,
yeah, no, I totally understand everything you're saying. That makes perfect sense, Phil.
There we are.
Very valid questions, and you know, at the start of the new financial year is the best place to address this.
It would be good if Paul could bring that some sort of form of answers back to full council, because I'm assuming that full council would probably ask exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, if Paul is able to bring those for a week Tuesday, a week tomorrow, in other words, if he has a chance, that'd be great.
Or even just his very best guess.
I think Paul is chairing well, not chairing, but he's representing Kerry tomorrow. So there will be his reports tomorrow. So I think there'll be an opportunity.
Well, there was an opportunity to ask these questions tomorrow because he's chairing.
There we go. Yeah.
There we
Excellent.
are.
There we are.
Okay,
That's the only things arising that I could think of?
No, that's all fine. Okay, and the last thing on the agenda is to agree the agenda items for June's meeting.
Well, I did have a look at the grant report that was in the pack as well. I noticed that, you know, we're not sort of, we haven't got a separate item on that, but obviously is next month a grant review month?
I would have thought it'll be the first one of this year because they're every 6 months, aren't they?
There we are.
This should be the first one of the new financial year.
There we go.
Even though we set our budget in the January, it's April that the new tax year starts, isn't it?
That's it.
So that's my take on it.
But I would just suggest we just put on grant system or something like that, just in case we don't have any new grants to look at. We can sort of sit back and have a review and have a think about how we want things to go this year.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Fair enough.
that's a good idea, actually. I think to certainly consider increasing the total budget, which was 25,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still is.
So
Was that? I thought we got a slight lift in that this year.
I don't think it went through, did it? Because we had to save money. I mean, we've got an underspend of 600 and something from last year, but that's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure we got a better budget this year. But Paul hasn't given us our new budget figures, has he, in this
No.
pack? No. So there we go. I'm assuming we'll pick those up next month. So
no.
Go and
Okay.
have
Anything else anybody wants to put on the agenda? I mean, basically, on the WhatsApp group, I think we're all on there. I'll add Richard on there and take Sarah off then. What I normally do is when I come to set the agenda with Ian, I send out a message on there and say, if anybody wants anything on WhatsApp group, let me know and I'll pass it on to Ian.
on our funding for this year, obviously, I know we didn't fund a long-term loan, you know, a particular budget line for We Love Mumbles or whatever Mr. Whitaker calls themselves this year.
Yes.
West Cross Community Centre's still got its own funding, not community centre, West Cross Youth Club still has its own funding arrangement, doesn't it? Was there anything else under that? Sorry, I'm busy trying to get into the pack again and my computer's not allowing me.
Sorry,
so
I missed Bonnie Tyler interrupted then.
Sorry, so the traders grant has gone off.
Yes.
Obviously we've got the Austrian Centre development costs, but obviously they've got their own sort of subcommittee, don't they? Valuation services, training courses, small and medium grants. So the clerk looks after training courses and associated costs.
Yep.
Valuation services are under the clerk's remits, and RFOs, hybrid meeting equipment. That would be good to have a discussion about after today. But no, yeah, exactly. I think that's everything that I can think of. Just trying to remember if there's anything new on the budget this year, and I don't think there was there?
No.
So that's it, really.
We can add that as well. Hybrid recording equipment.
The next month's agenda.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Because I think we're all fed up of it.
Yeah.
And what we really need to do is have someone who's a bit tech savvier than the lot of us put together come in with a bit of equipment and try and see what works, you know. Yeah. But there we go.
And what we can afford.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we can afford. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay then. Well, look. As I said, I will send out a message on the WhatsApp group for anything people want on the agenda before I have the agenda setting meeting with Ian in 2 weeks' time. Because the way it works is we have the week before the meeting, the agenda goes out. The week before that, I meet Ian to do a draft agenda, and then we can always add things onto it. So I will send out a message on our WhatsApp group for anybody who wants to put something on. Okay.
Indeed. Okay.
Okay, thank you all very much. Nice short meeting. 56 meeting. No, that's the percentage. 46 meeting. 46
go.
minutes. Okay.
Take
Good
care
night,
all.
everybody.
Ta-da now.
Cheers.
Ta-da, take care. Ta-da.